On August 3, 2012, a 12-year-old girl named Tia Sharp disappeared from her grandmother's house in New Addington, South London. For 7 days, hundreds of local residents and dozens of police officers searched the area. Right at the center of the search was Stuart Hazell, the partner of Tia's grandmother. He organized search parties, comforted Tia's mother, and even sat down for a televised interview, pleading for her safe return. To anyone watching, Hazell looked like a desperate family member doing everything he could to help. No one realized he already knew exactly where Tia was. The truth wasn't discovered on the streets of Croydon or in the nearby woodlands. It was inside the house the entire time, hidden in a narrow loft space directly above the family as they waited for news. Tia had traveled from her home in Mitcham to stay with her grandmother, Christine Bicknell, for the weekend. On Friday, August 3, Christine left early for work, leaving Tia at the house with Stuart Hazell. According to Hazell's initial statement to the police, Tia told him she was heading into Croydon to buy a new pair of shoes. He claimed he gave her £10 for bus fare, watched her leave the house around mid-morning, and that was the last time he saw her. When Tia failed to return by that evening, her family raised the alarm. Because she left her phone charger behind and hadn't contacted any friends, the Metropolitan Police immediately classified her as a high-risk missing person. As the search intensified over the next few days, Hazell became a prominent figure in the media coverage. During his interview, he spoke directly to the camera, claiming he was treating the situation as if Tia were his own daughter. The performance kept the focus of the investigation firmly outside the home. Standard police procedure dictates that the location where a missing person was last seen must be thoroughly examined. Over the course of the week, police officers entered the New Addington home multiple times. In fact, officers conducted 2 separate searches of the property within the first few days. During one of those searches, an officer actually looked into the loft hatch using a torch. However, the loft was narrow, dark, and packed with household items. The officer stepped back down, reporting that nothing unusual was visible. By the morning of Friday, August 10, exactly 1 week after Tia disappeared, the situation changed. A specialized dog handler entered the property. This time, police noticed a distinct scent of decomposition near the upper floor. An officer went back up into the loft hatch, navigating further into the narrow void behind the insulation. There, hidden underneath bags and sheets, they discovered human remains. The body was quickly identified as Tia Sharp. Forensic pathologists later noted that due to the state of the remains, a definitive medical cause of death could not be certified, though the evidence pointed strongly to smothering. As soon as the discovery was made, police looked for Hazell. He had already left the property, triggering a brief manhunt before he was found and arrested in a park later that evening. With Hazell in custody, the prosecution faced a challenge. They needed to prove exactly when and how Tia died to completely dismantle Hazell's shopping trip story. The breakthrough came when investigators discovered a memory card hidden on top of a door frame at the house. What they found inside altered the entire timeline of the case. The device contained a deleted, indecent photograph of Tia on a bed. According to the testimony of forensic pathologist, structural changes in the body indicated that Tia was already deceased when the image was captured. The digital metadata embedded in the file showed the photo was taken early in the morning on Friday, August 3. This single piece of evidence completely changed the case. It proved that Tia was already dead while her grandmother was away working an overnight shift, and hours before Hazell told the police, the family, and the media that she had walked out the front door. Furthermore, forensic teams found traces of Hazell's DNA and Tia's blood on the bedding, which the prosecution presented as clear evidence of a sexually motivated attack. In May 2013, Stuart Hazell stood trial for murder at the Old Bailey. Initially, he attempted to maintain a new version of events. He claimed to prison officers and family members that Tia's death was a terrible accident, stating she had fallen down the stairs, broken her neck, and that he had hidden her body in the loft out of panic. But the medical evidence directly contradicted his story. Pathologists testified that there were no fractures to her neck or spine, completely disproving the accidental fall theory. On the fifth day of the trial, realizing the forensic timeline left him with no viable defense, Hazell changed his plea to guilty. The judge sentenced Hazell to life imprisonment with a minimum term of 38 years. In his closing remarks, the judge emphasized that Hazell had carried out a fatal, sexually motivated attack on a child who trusted him, followed by a deliberate campaign of deception to mislead her family and the public. The case led to a major internal review within the Metropolitan Police regarding their search protocols. The force later issued a formal apology to Tia's family, acknowledging that operational errors during the first two searches caused unnecessary delay and prolonged the family's agony. Ultimately, the case of Tia Sharp changed how missing child investigations are handled in the UK, ensuring that primary search locations are cleared with far greater forensic scrutiny from day one. It remains a stark reminder of why investigators must rely strictly on verifiable data and timelines, rather than the statements of those closest to the scene. Thank you for watching this case analysis. Please leave your thoughts on the forensic investigation in the comments below, and subscribe to stay updated with our upcoming deep dives. Stay safe, and we'll see you in the next video.